Avoid moving to San Diego unless you can handle these 7 things. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, everyone. I'm Spade at Keller Williams Realty, and I make all these videos to help you make sense of the real estate market. If you would do me a huge favor, please smash that subscribe button. Also, give me a thumbs up. It does a lot for my self-esteem. And if you would click that little bell, that way you get to be notified every single time I drop some fresh new content. Now let's get to those 7 things you want to avoid if you're thinking about moving to San Diego. Now, I've lived in San Diego since 1992. I came out here to go to college. I had planned on leaving San Diego, but never left. Now, over the 30 plus years that I've lived in San Diego, there are a few things that I have had to become accustomed to if I want to stay living here in America's finest city. But there are 7 things that you need to know about, especially if you are thinking of making the move here. The first is the cost of living. San Diego was recently named the most expensive city in the nation, and that is no lie. It is very, very expensive to live here. So I want to kind of give you an idea of what it's like and what it's going to cost you. First and foremost, gas. I just filled up my tank yesterday over at the Exxon Mobil over on El Cajon Boulevard in Texas Street, and the debit card price was $4.89 a gallon. Now, prices of gas have come down slightly, and I would say $4.89 is pretty good. If you have a Costco membership, I just couldn't make it down to Costco yesterday, and I was running basically on fumes. You can usually get Costco gas for probably about $4.49 to $4.59 a gallon, but we all know Costco is a zoo, which is why I only go during the week. So gas is going to be quite expensive. Just recently I heard that the state of California has filed a lawsuit against gas companies for, or petroleum companies for price gouging. So we'll have to see where that falls out, but gas is extremely expensive. The other thing that you need to be aware of is housing is not cheap. Now, the average price for a home in San Diego is just over $1 million, whereas the median price is just about $860,000. So it's more than the national average. Home prices are not cheap here. Now, if you're buying a home, typically you're looking at 2-bedroom, 1-bath, and it just really depends on the neighborhood you're going to be in. So zip code by zip code, it changes. So you can still get single-family detached homes for around $650,000, $700,000. It just really depends on the neighborhood. So you have to be open to the neighborhood, and that's what I tell everybody. If you want a single-family detached home, they are there. They are something that you can find. We just have to dig a little bit deeper, and sometimes we have to find those off market, but it is possible to find a single family detached home, but the average price is about $1 million. Now, I live in University Heights, which is 92116. So for a condo, a 1-bedroom, 1-bath condo, you're looking anywhere between $475,000 and maybe $500,000, depending on the building. There are some more I would say upscale luxury buildings like La Boheme in North Park, which will probably run you approximately for a 1-bedroom about $575,000. So it just really depends, but there's a lot of condos in small complexes where they have like 8 or 10 units that will probably run you about $475,000 for a 1-bedroom, and the 2 bedrooms go up to about $600,000. So it is possible to be well under that $1 million mark. And like I said, it just depends on the neighborhood that you want to be in, but just be prepared. Our cost for housing is quite expensive. The other thing about our housing is rent. Rents aren't cheap. So there's brand new buildings that have gone up. The average price for a 1-bedroom, depending on neighborhoods, is about $2,000. So that's kind of like on the low end for your rent is going to be about $2,000. So you really want to be prepared for that because rents are not cheap here in San Diego. There are brand new luxury apartment complexes that have just been built, like the Winslow over on the corner of El Cajon and Park Boulevard, where the studios run you about $2,500. So you just want to be aware of what prices are, but I would say a general rule of thumb is you start at $2,000, and those may not all come with parking, by the way. So just be aware of that. If parking is a thing that you need, not all rentals in San Diego come with parking. Tourist season is a big deterrent if you don't want to be around a lot of tourists. Now, here's the thing. The summer is the bulk of when all the tourists are going to be coming to San Diego, but it's not the only time tourists are going to be coming to San Diego. Tourists are going to be in San Diego year-round. The holiday seasons, also, a lot of tourists come to San Diego. Part of the reason for that is it's warm outside and there's a lot of people leaving Midwestern destinations to come to San Diego to enjoy the warmer weather. I mean, it's cold for us here in San Diego because we wake up, it's 51 degrees like it was this morning here in December. But when you're coming from the Midwest or Minnesota, where I'm originally from, and it was like 14 degrees when you got up this morning to get out and get ready for school, San Diego is paradise compared to those temperatures. So that is when the bulk of tourist season is going to be, is in the summer, but don't forget that the holidays are also very busy. The other thing is we have the Holiday Bowl, which draws, the two colleges that will come in and play in the Holiday Bowl, plus all those tourists that are going to be coming from all over the country, depending on which two schools will be playing in the Holiday Bowl. So just remember that we are going to have a lot of tourists, and it's not necessarily going to be just in the summertime. Let's carry that summer along, and let's talk about the weather. So even though in San Diego, we always joke it's 72 and always sunny, in the summertime we have May gray and June gloom. And this happens because the outside temperature is warming up as we come into the spring and summer temperatures, but the ocean temperature is still cold. Keep in mind the Pacific Ocean is not warm. It is very cold. Even in the height of summer in August, when it is pretty much our hottest, it gets really hot probably the second week in July until our heat waves can last until October and we get Santa Ana winds. We get this thing called May gray and June gloom. So what happens is it's gray and cloudy and blah pretty much all day until about 3 o'clock. And then as you're getting off work, it's like this light switch goes off and then the sun starts coming out and the clouds start parting. But May gray and June gloom is a real thing. And it definitely has this this weird vibe on your mood throughout the day, and it makes me want to nap more, quite honestly. But May gray and June gloom is an actual real thing that you need to know about because it really kind of messes with your head sometimes. Traffic in San Diego has gotten a lot worse over the last 30 years that I've lived here. Now, when I first moved to San Diego, I just got around via bike and bus. The first couple years I lived here when I was going to Mesa College, I lived in Pacific Beach. I would bike and bus pretty much everywhere. But the traffic has gotten so bad in San Diego. It's not quite as horrible as Los Angeles because I don't think anything is going to top the horrible traffic like Los Angeles, but it's pretty bad. It's probably a close second. So not only do we have one of the most expensive cities, we've also got a lot of traffic. So you're going to have to deal with that. One of the things I always ask people when they're getting ready to buy a house is, how far do you want to be from work and how long do you want to sit in your commute? Most people don't, they look at their budget and they say, well, I don't want to spend more than X number of dollars, but the commute to get home can be quite long. I was selling a house earlier this year in Mira Mesa, which is up the 15, and it's really only maybe from my house in University Heights, maybe a 20-minute drive on a good day. But when I got out of this appointment on a Friday evening, it literally took an hour and a half for me to get home, which was normally maybe a 15 or 20-minute drive on a clear day. So traffic is bad. That's one of the things that you're going to need to know about, and I guarantee you are absolutely going to hate it. Which brings me to our very poor public transportation. San Diego is not New York City, Chicago, or San Francisco. We have horrible public transportation. I don't care, anybody can fight me on this one, but our public transportation is not good in San Diego. It takes about 30 minutes to get a trolley, and while they have extended the trolley line, if you live downtown, you can get pretty much anywhere via the trolley line. It's actually pretty good. But if you live where I do in University Heights, you have to either take a bus or your car to a trolley station to get anywhere you want to go. So it's not good. The bus system is not good. The buses don't run as quickly as they should. In fact, we had some guests staying with us and we were going to go to a Padres game. And when we were waiting for the bus never showed up. Like, it literally never showed up on this game day that we were going downtown San Diego, because first of all, there's no parking down by Petco, and you don't really want to be driving downtown San Diego during a baseball game day. So our public transportation is not great. So just be aware of that. If you don't have a car, this is not a car-friendly city like San Francisco is. In San Francisco, you don't need a car. You can get anywhere in San Francisco on the Muni or the BART, but you do not want to be in San Diego if you have to solely rely on public transportation. I know someone that has to take 3 buses from Pacific Beach to where I work just to get to work. They need to take 3 buses. That's a little bit excessive. So our public transportation is not good here in San Diego. Now, the other thing that I want to talk about is sales tax, because sales tax is extremely high in San Diego. So the combined state and city sales tax is 7.75% here in San Diego. And the only thing that isn't taxed are groceries. Everything else has taxes on it. I'm from Minnesota. You don't pay taxes for your clothes or your groceries, but here in San Diego, you are definitely going to pay 7.75% on pretty much everything. So you have to be prepared that our taxes are super high. Now, if you're buying a home, your property taxes are going to run you 1.25% of the overall purchase price. So keep that in mind. 1.25% is the approximate sales tax, or the approximate property tax when you are purchasing a home in California. But the tax here, the combined sales tax here in San Diego, is 7.75%. And then last and final thing, and many of you aren't going to believe me when I tell you this, but it's absolutely 100% true. Most places do not have air conditioning. Let that sink in for just a minute. But it is true. There are a lot of residents that do not have air conditioning in their apartments or in their condos or in their homes, because it's not a requirement like in Arizona, for example, where you absolutely have to have air conditioning or your landlord has to provide air conditioning. It's not a requirement. Heat is a requirement here in Southern California and in San Diego, where your landlord or anyone selling your home has to make sure that the heat is working, but they certainly do not have to make sure that the AC is working. Now, if you are in an office building or those types of environments, there are always air conditioners that are available, but just keep in mind that not every place, in fact, I've had apartments here in San Diego that have had no AC, and it gets super hot and you have 2 or 3 fans going. So just know that not every single place has air conditioning in San Diego. So did I scare you off from moving to San Diego? I hope not, because this is actually pretty much close to what paradise is. I think that you will absolutely love living here in America's finest city, but there are a few things that you need to know about. We are not perfect, but we are a great group of people, and most people that live here aren't even from here, so it's really kind of this cool melting pot of people from all over the world. So if you have any questions or you are thinking about moving to San Diego or selling or buying your home, feel free to reach out to me. I can be reached at 619-818-2992. And my email address is right here as well. Thank you so much for coming back to my channel. Again, please like, subscribe, and comment. Those are what I thrive on. It gives me my juice to keep making all these videos for you. Have a great day, everyone. I'll talk to you soon.